Hello and welcome. Come join me to learn all about the full moon energies. So the full moon in Pisces is happening on September 14th at 12:32 a.m. Eastern time. So depending where you are in the world, this could be happening late night on the 13th. So get your crystals ready to charge and put them out, because this is going to be a very transformational, extremely healing full moon that is very much infused with the energy of the goddess, the high priestess energy. It is calling us to a new level of transformation in our life, a new level of transcendence, connecting so deeply to who we are on a soul level and what our soul has come here to do in these physical bodies. It's so powerful. Say hi as you jump on. I love now how all the comments, it just like pops up suddenly. Like I see people jumping on and there's no comment showing, and then suddenly it shows me all of them. That's funny. So welcome. Share with me, what are you celebrating in this full moon energy, as well as what you are releasing? Because full moons, they are amplifiers. They amplify what is happening for you on an emotional level, and you are probably already feeling that. Even the days leading up to the full moon, we can have higher energy levels, we can have more trouble sleeping, and we can feel old patterns and old emotions really emerging. And this is definitely the case with some of the aspects that this moon is forming, which I'm going to go over all of that today. I'm so excited to share this. I even have my MacBook on the side as well, because I have the chart pulled up, because I don't want to miss any of this. There's just so many powerful alignments that are in play here. So yes, share what you are releasing. And there is a celebration aspect of the full moon as well, because 2 weeks prior to the full moon is when we have the new moon, and that's when we set our intentions. So we want to now take the time to really celebrate what has come to fruition for us in our life. And there is always something to celebrate, because celebration is an energy. Celebration is a choice. And when you choose to lock into that and say, I'm going to celebrate what's happening in my life, what's unfolding in my life, that is such a beautiful magnetic energy, and it will connect you even more deeply to the power of the full moon and to the power of the goddess energy, the divine feminine energy, which is all about celebration and joy. So share with me. Share with me below and say hi as you jump on. Hi, Wanda and Elizabeth, Kenzel, Melissa, welcome. Hello, Katie and Lori. Great to have you here. Kay, welcome, beautiful. So I have my new background up today, as I'm sure you noticed. It's a new old background. I had this one for a little while, but I was just feeling called to switch it up a bit. I was getting tired of seeing the old background, and I did so many videos outside during the summertime, but now that it's cooling off a little bit, I'll be indoors. So I needed a new background just to switch it up a little bit. And they're harder to put up than I remembered. Probably should have waited till my husband got home to help me with this, but I got it. I think it works. And we have something new to look at in the background as well. So, hello, Katie. How are you? Beautiful. Let's dive in and take a look at this full moon in Pisces. I always like to start with the energy that the full moon is in, because even though we see certain themes unfold with every full moon, like our emotions being amplified, again, like having more energy, just feeling things more deeply, the filter is the zodiac sign that it is in. And in Pisces, this is the last sign of the zodiac. It is ruled by Neptune, and it is a very emotional energy. So this can be a more emotional full moon, but I also feel just a beautiful energy coming in around it, where we are connecting to our power in such a deep way. Like Pisces calls us to transcend beyond the fear mind, transcend beyond the ego, connect back to who we are on a soul level, connect back to our spirit. It is also very much linked to the energy of the Akashic records as well, which I love to work in the space of the Akashic records. So at the time of the full moon, and not that we don't always have access to our higher self, we always have the ability to channel healing energy. That's something we can access at any time. At this full moon, you're really going to feel that like power coming through you. So if you work as a light worker and healer, you're going to find you're just getting like intuitive downloads about your clients, about people reaching out. You're just going to have this inner knowing right away. it's also a really beautiful time to like do healing work, book a healing session, because this connection into the spirit realm is just going to be so, so powerful. Now, opposite, anytime there's a full moon, there is an opposition in effect. And what oppositions represent in astrology is this pull in energy. So it's kind of pulling us in two different directions. So we have this Pisces energy that's calling us to like rise up, to transcend. And then we have the Virgo energy, which is very much about physical healing. And it's anchoring us into our physical body. So if you saw my video that I did on the new moon in Virgo, I talked a lot about this healing energy as well, but it was very much about our physical healing. It was about our daily routine. It was more about the practical things we do day to day. Now, this full moon is more about transcendence. It's more about things that are a little bit harder to grasp. So let me know the energy you've been feeling into, because what I've heard from a few people is like they're finding it hard to get things done. They're finding it hard to get to work. And the best thing with this Pisces energy is it's not about needing to know all the details, not about needing to know the how, not about needing to know all the facts. If we're in that type of mindset around this full moon, it can feel very frustrating, because what Pisces energy calls us to do, and this full moon is happening conjunct Neptune, which is the ruler of Pisces, so they're side by side, is it calls us to a deeper level of trust, a deeper level of faith, and a deeper level of surrender in our life. So it's not about needing to know all the details. It's not about needing to know the how. It's more about tapping into the powerful creators we are and appreciating that when we have a desire, the universe is working with us to manifest that. So the only thing we need to do is really stay in alignment, stay in the energy of what we want to attract and call in. So of course, like, there's a time to take action, there's a balance, and astrology really shows us that beautifully, and that's why there's these opposing signs. We're still in Virgo season, and Virgo is about let's do the work, let's create the plan. But around this full moon, allow yourself to really sink into the power of imagination, the power of daydreaming, the power of just feeling in to the energy of what you want to create, what you want to call forward, the power of rising above the fears that you have that stem from the ego and connecting more in to who I really am. How does my higher self see me? How does she see what is possible for me? How can I fully step in and align with that? And then, of course, there will be a time where we'll be inspired to take action, but really allow this energy to help you dream bigger, to expand your imagination. Because if we have these small goals that aren't really in alignment with our soul, there's no energy behind it. So this Pisces Neptune energy is about, it's very much the visionary. Let's dream bigger. Let's expand on what is possible for us. All right, I do want to read some of these comments because I love hearing from everybody here. So definitely say hi, leave your questions. What are you releasing? Let's see, Katie, I'm heading up to the ocean and the mountains with a dear sister friend for the weekend, connecting to nature, exploring the music of Mama Gaia. Oh, that sounds beautiful. What a beautiful way to celebrate this full moon energy. I love that so much. Good morning, Elizabeth. Welcome. Hi, Tony. How are you? Great to have you here. Yes, so there's definitely this energy of being called to trust, being called to surrender, and I want to talk a little bit about this idea of the ego as well, because this has come up a few times in my Goddess Sisterhood VIP group. A few of the women have mentioned this idea, or just like asking the question of what is the role of ego? And I feel this question is just so related to the full moon energies as well, because we do, like a lot of times in the spiritual community, we talk about transcendence of the ego. We talk about moving beyond the ego. But at the same time, how I see the ego is it's also our vantage point in which we see the world from. So like I come into this body, this lifetime, I take on the identity as Kara Melendy, and I'm able to see, like my soul is able to see and experience the world through my eyes. And it's the same for each of you. You come into these physical bodies and it gives your soul that ability to see the world in your unique way. And You give the world the ability to hear your unique perspective and your unique way of seeing things. So in that way, it's so beautiful. And even when we talk about the fear element of the ego, it serves such a purpose for so long, right? In an evolutionary standpoint, in just like keeping us alive, and still today in letting us know, like, you know, don't go in this direction. We feel fear. So when it gets in the way is when it holds us back from fully stepping into what we're called to do in the world, what our soul is called to create and share. And that's what we want to transcend around this full moon, is we really want to know, when is this fear mind getting in the way of me fulfilling my soul purpose? When is the fear mind getting in the way of me really like fully stepping into my power and what I'm here to do in the world? And use this full moon energy to release that. Because Pisces energy, especially with this opposition with the sun in Virgo, it's going to help you heal on such a deep level. And it's also going to help you take these divine ideas, these intuitive impulses, and just anchor them into your body in such a powerful way. It's like coming from the crown chakra. I very much see the Neptune Pisces energy, if it was related to the chakra system, very much connected to the crown chakra, because it is that connection into our soul. And then we're anchoring that down into our root chakra when we're working with this Virgo energy, where we can feel the effects unfold in our life in a very physical way, and then where we can make the practical changes, where we can then take the action, but use the full moon energy just to do the inner work, the energetic work of transformation. Okay, let me know if this is resonating, what's coming up for you. And if you are just jumping on, say hi and share with me what you are celebrating in this full moon energy, as well as what you're choosing to release and let go of. So many aspects happening in the chart here. I still want to talk more about the Pisces energy before I even get into some of these aspects. So the shadow side of Pisces, and the reason I talk about the shadow side is it can just be helpful to know if you're feeling some uncomfortable things or just something within you that wants to be integrated. It can be helpful to hear this. So the shadow side of Pisces can be a sense of confusion. It can be a feeling of maybe getting lost in the daydream to the extent where we want to escape reality. So this is not about escaping. This is not about ignoring what needs to be looked at in our life. It's about realizing I am powerful enough to rise above the challenges, to release what isn't working, and to step into what I'm called to do in my life. Like any challenge that comes up, I can rise above it. I'm stronger than it. So don't fall into the shadow side of Pisces and Neptune, where it's escapism, and escapism can take many different forms, right? It's like, of course, drugs and alcohol, to the extent we're using it to like mask how we feel, mask our emotions, but it could also be just like endless scrolling on social media or watching Netflix, right? To the point where we're escaping. Not that any of those things in and of themselves are wrong or bad, but it's more about like the motive behind it. Am I using this as a way to escape what I need to feel and heal? And if you are, this is a call just to go inward and remember the strength that you have to heal, to rise above, and to integrate what's coming up for you. And hi, Tony, how are you? Beautiful. And why this is so powerful as well, and there is like a darker shadow side to this full moon energy, is we do have the moon forming a sextile over to Pluto as well. And anytime Pluto comes into the mix, it is like deep level transformation. It deconstructs everything. So it's calling you to like break down, take a look at what isn't working in your life so you can rise up even more strongly. And I feel in the collective with the readings I've been doing as well, people have expressed that it almost feels like a part of them. It's like a death of a part of who they are. So the new identity can fully emerge. And that's what Pluto is. It is like a death and a rebirth. And this doesn't need to be in like the physical sense of a death. It's usually not. And what I feel around this full moon, it's more about the emotional of like grieving and releasing the parts of you that you're ready to let go of and release, so you can more fully step into your destiny. You can more fully step into what your soul is here to do, your soul's work. Now, where the goddess energy and the divine feminine comes in so strongly with this full moon is, of course, the Pisces and Neptune energy in and of itself is like that high priestess energy, but it's also forming a trine over to the North Node in Cancer. And the Cancerian energy is the goddess. It's ruled by the moon. So it is this call, and whether you're a man or woman, I know I mainly work with women, but I have men that follow too, and we all have the masculine and we have the feminine energies within us. So it is this call to really integrate both, of course, but really appreciate how the divine feminine goddess energy is being expressed through you. And remembering at the core, the goddess energy is about joy and fun and pleasure and playfulness. So even affirming if you are going through difficult times in your life, that you can grow and expand through joy. Like we're kind of stepping into a new level of consciousness as part of the collective as well, and going away from this idea that in order for me to achieve something, it has to be really hard work or it has to be a struggle. And we're shifting more into this idea of our ability to magnetize what we want. And that is the goddess energy, the ability for me to be magnetic to what I desire. And while there may be obstacles and challenges that come up, that doesn't mean that I still can't stay in my power throughout that, and that I still can't grow through joy and ease. So we're really feeling into some of these lessons, not just at the time of the full moon, but this has really been a theme while we've had the North Node in Cancer throughout this year. But it's really coming into play because Neptune's being activated right now, and it's forming this beautiful trine with the North Node, and it is the ruler of the full moon, so we're really feeling that. Hi, Laura. How are you, beautiful? Elizabeth, releasing the need to give away my energy so much, so I have so little for myself that transformation is not flowing. Yes, beautiful. Yeah. We want to give from a place of being fully filled up, and this idea of service is really a focus as well around the full moon because we are in Virgo season. The sun is opposite the moon in Virgo, and it is the question of service and being of service to the world. Even as we lead up to the full moon, we have like the moon in Aquarius, which is all about sharing our soul gifts, contributing to the world. And I wrote a post about this the other day, I think, or maybe I talked about it in my video, maybe both, but we can only fully give back in a way that is of the highest service to ourselves and other people when we are nourishing our soul and we're not giving from a place of feeling depleted and feeling burnt out. We want to give from a space where we know like we have fulfilled our needs, we are feeling good, and then from that space of overflow, we contribute to the people around us, and that's when it really begins to feel life-giving as well. Yeah, so as you jump in, say hi, share with me, what are you releasing and letting go of, and what are you celebrating? Don't forget the celebration component. And celebration, I know I said this at the beginning of the video, but it's worth repeating. Celebration is an energy and a mindset. It's like a way of living. It's not, so if we're saying we don't really have anything to celebrate, it's just a shift in our energy and mindset to choose to look at what I can celebrate, what I can be grateful for in this very moment. And the more we choose to step into that energy, the more we will have to celebrate. It's just the way the universe works, right? We shift our energy, we shift our mindset, and then the external changes. And that's why around this full moon, we are doing so much of the inner energetic work. But then that will just overflow into our life, and we start to take different actions. We start to show up in a new way when we have done the energetic side of things. Yay, Kristen, celebrating with you, beautiful. Close to a career goal, law of attraction. Yes, exactly, right? So true, Tony. Okay, let me have a look at this chart here. Okay. This opposition in effect. Okay, what else do I want to say about this? This Mars-Neptune opposition's interesting and worth talking about as well. So again, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, so that's why I've really been focusing on this energy and why Neptune is really being highlighted. So it's opposite Mars right now in the sign of Virgo, and a Neptune-Mars opposition is an interesting one for sure, because Mars is the planet that drives us. It's a very masculine energy. If you know the placement of Mars in your chart, the sign it is in, or when I do readings for people and I hone in on that, I know right away how they approach a goal. I know right away like their energy force, and if they need to go more slowly in approaching things, or if they jump all in right away, like Mars is what what drives us, what motivates us. It's our life force, it's our ambition. So with the opposite, the full moon, there may be a part of you right now that's like, it's go time. It's time for me to like completely move forward and just get things done, make things happen. And then Neptune, on the other hand, maybe adding an element of like confusion, or not being sure of how it's all going to play out, or not sure of the steps I'm going to take. And then we can get entangled in that story of wanting to take action, but we're not sure how, we're not sure where. And basically, I think like all energies in the cosmos at any time are working to fully support us, and we can choose to work with them in their highest expression. So you want to find what this balance is for you. You want to find this balance between taking action in your life from a place of being fully inspired, and not from a place of, I need to take action. Abraham Hicks talks about this a lot, and I love this. And she says how so many of us will take action in a way to like make up for energy that's not in full alignment. So we're taking action and it feels really hard, or it's not working because we actually haven't taken the time to align our energy first. We haven't taken the time to become that vibrational match, that match the frequency of what we want to create. So it feels very hard. So these energies in the highest expression can help you bring both together. They remind you of how supported you are, how powerful you are. And if you just take that time to really feel into the energy behind what you want to call in, whether it is a financial goal, it's a goal in your relationship, it doesn't matter what the goal is. Are you aligned to receiving that? And then when you are, use this presence of the masculine Mars energy to take action toward it, and it then feels very different. It doesn't feel like you're pushing things uphill, right? Or you're like, I'm taking this action, I'm not seeing results. We get burnt out when that happens. So if that's happening for you, send yourself love, release any guilt or blame around it, and just use this full moon energy to go a little bit more inward. And again, because there's going to be such a connection to the spirit realm that's coming through around this full moon, just really feel into where you are being divinely guided. What is the next logical step for you to take that feels exciting, that feels very expansive, that feels very aligned? And that's the best way to really work with this energy. And there's a square in effect as well between Neptune and Jupiter. And this is a very spiritual energy that we have been infused with throughout this year. And in astrology, the way it works is there can be different aspects between the planets, especially the outer planets, that are ongoing throughout the year, right? And that are activated on and off just depending on what else is happening in the cosmos. So we've had this ongoing aspect throughout the year between Neptune and Jupiter forming a square formation. And this is a very, very beautiful, interesting energy, and it's for like the visionary. It's really for people that are going to love this energy is if you are the visionary and you have the courage to like dream beyond where you currently are, dream beyond your current reality to what is possible. Because Jupiter just wants to expand us. It wants us to grow. It wants us to go on the next adventure. And you probably have a good feel for Neptune now because I spoke a lot about Neptune. Just see it as that energy of transcendence. So when these are coming together, it really does, again, support this ability to connect into our spirit realm, our higher self, who we are on a soul level. Now, because it is in a square formation, often in astrology, if astrologers see the square formation, it is a point of tension. So there can be the shadow side where it may be, you don't want to overextend yourself. And this was actually a message I felt coming through very strongly in the space of the Akashic Records as well. So you don't want to be saying yes to things and overcommitting to things that don't feel fully aligned with who you are. So basically, practice those boundaries and be okay with saying no when something doesn't like light you up and feel right for you. Don't overextend. That's like the quickest way to get burnt out. And at the same time, say yes to the things that do light you up. Like this square between Neptune and Jupiter, it is going to help expand your imagination beyond what is. It is going to give you glimpses into what's possible for you, what's possible for your business, what's possible for your relationship. And you want to keep up with that. So when the universe delivers you opportunities to like go with that and create that life and step into that paradigm, you also have to have the courage to say yes to it. So basically, say yes to the things that are actually a full body yes for you and feel right, and say no to the things that are draining you and don't feel right. And doing that alone, like, your whole life will shift. And that's the lesson we're learning. One of the lessons, be seen in different ways, with this aspect between Jupiter and Neptune that's been ongoing and activated at the full moon. Okay. So let me know, how is this resonating for you? Questions, comments, any of that good stuff. Love seeing all these intentions that are being shared and they're releasing, so powerful. So if you want to book a private reading, send me a message. We can look at your unique birth chart and how all these changes in the cosmos are personally affecting you. And I will give you guidance on how you can best work with that energy in your manifesting, as well as focusing on some of the themes that may be emerging for you as you go into 2020. So for the rest of 2019 into 2020, and help you see the broader perspective on things. So how your soul is being called to grow, the lessons you're being initiated into. And it's so helpful when you just have that heads up and you have a deeper understanding from like your higher self, from your soul, as to why you're experiencing this on the earth plane and how you can step into your full potential and power. So just reach out if that's speaking to you and you want to go deeper into your personal astrology. Okay, so I think I touched on most of these things here, most of these beautiful aspects. All right, awesome stuff. Yeah, this is a powerful one, bringing deep level healing, bringing you back to your soul, to your truth, what you are fully here to do. Don't try to figure out all the details of the how. When you have like a divine creative idea, just take time to sit in the joy of that, how good it feels to like daydream, to imagine, to dream bigger. When we dream bigger, we can achieve bigger. And what I mean by that, basically dream bigger, is more like soul aligned. Dream what's soul aligned for you. Take action on what is soul aligned for you. Feel how the universe supports you fully when you are connected to what you are here to do on a soul level. Take time to celebrate, take time to release, and you can do a lot of powerful healing and shadow work at this time as well, and more deeply connect to the goddess. So thank you everybody for sharing today. And yeah, I'll be catching all the replays if you're, or all the replays. If you're on the replay, I'll be going back and looking at all your comments. So thank you for the love, for sharing. I'm sending so much love and light your way. Enjoy these beautiful full moon vibes, and I will see you very soon. Bye.